Hey, it's Shane here, and today we need to talk about something that could seriously hurt Canada's economy and our place on the world stage. US President Donald Trump just raised tariffs on Canadian goods from 25% to 35%. This sudden increase has sent shockwaves through the Canadian economy, affecting businesses and consumers alike. The tariffs are expected to have a significant impact on the cost of goods, potentially leading to higher prices and reduced availability of certain products. Why? He says Canada hasn't done enough to stop dangerous drugs like fentanyl from coming into the US through our border. This accusation has put additional strain on the already tense relationship between the two countries, raising questions about border security and international cooperation. But here's the bigger issue. Our Prime Minister Mark Carney knew this was coming and he didn't act. Despite having ample warning, Carney failed to implement measures that could have mitigated the impact of these tariffs. His inaction has left many questioning his leadership and decision-making abilities. Trump warned Carney weeks ago that if things didn't change, including drug trafficking, supply management and Canada's counter-tariffs, he'd take action. This warning was clear and direct, yet it seems to have fallen on deaf ears. And now he has. But instead of working things out or protecting Canadian jobs, Carney made things worse. His lack of action has not only strained our relationship with the US, but also jeopardized the livelihoods of countless Canadians. The country now stands at a critical economic crossroads, with many wondering what the future holds. Just one day before the new tariffs were announced, Mark Carney made headlines by declaring that Canada would officially recognize Palestine as a state. This announcement came as a surprise to many, both at home and abroad, and immediately set off a wave of reactions across the political spectrum. Carney, known for his careful approach to economic policy, was now stepping into the heart of a deeply divisive international issue. That's a big move, and a controversial one. For decades, Canada has walked a careful diplomatic line in the Middle East, balancing its relationships with both Israel and Palestine. Carney's decision marks a significant shift in that approach, signaling a willingness to take a stand even if it means facing backlash. Whether you agree with the decision or not, it's clear this is going to cause tension, especially with key allies like the United States, who have long been staunch supporters of Israel. The timing couldn't be more sensitive, as Canada is already in the midst of tough trade negotiations and diplomatic challenges. Even former President Trump weighed in, telling reporters that recognizing Palestine won't do Canada any favors in ongoing trade talks with the US. He warned that such a move could complicate negotiations, adding another layer of uncertainty to an already tense situation. Still, Trump admitted it's not a complete deal-breaker. But his comments made it clear that the US is watching Canada's actions closely, and any misstep could have real consequences for the economic relationship between the two countries. With so much already at stake, trade, diplomacy, and Canada's global reputation, Carney's gamble feels like a risky move at the worst possible time. The world is watching to see how this bold decision will play out on the international stage. Canada says only 1% of fentanyl in the US comes through our border, and they've invested $1.3 billion in border security. But from the outside, it doesn't look like Carney is doing much to calm things down or defend our economy. Meanwhile, Mexico got a 90-day break from more tariffs, because their president actually picked up the phone and talked to Trump. Carney? He called, but didn't even speak to him. This isn't just about trade, it's about leadership, about the kind of vision and responsibility we expect from those at the very top. When we talk about Canada's economic crossroads, we're talking about decisions that will shape our future for generations. It's about whether we have the courage to make choices that benefit everyone, not just a select few. And right now, it feels like our Prime Minister is making bold political moves without truly considering the long-term impact on Canadian families, workers, and businesses. These aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet, these are real people with real lives who depend on stable leadership and thoughtful policy. We need leadership that not only protects our economy from global shocks, but also builds smart, resilient relationships with our trading partners. It's about being proactive, not reactive, about anticipating challenges before they become crises. What we don't need is a government that stirs the pot or escalates tensions when things are already boiling over. In times like these, steady hands and clear minds are more important than ever. So I want to hear from you. Do you think Carney is doing enough to protect Canada's future, or is it time for a new approach? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.